Chris Charm for KojiPop.com, and this is Third Eye Crime by Moonshot Games. Not that you need me to tell you that, because it says so on the screen. But what you do need me to tell you is, what this game actually is. It's a stealth game of sorts, but a little bit different, and it's all presented in this cool film noirish look, just to get an idea of what I'm talking about and play through the introductory sequence here. Yeah, it's all these cutscenes are handled by swipes across comic book style panels, which is really good. I think this sort of thing is really kind of overdone. Motion comic cutscenes are such a huge cliche, but when it's done well, it really does stand out, and this is, yeah, presentationally really done quite well in cutscene. Actually, in gameplay, it takes the same sort of cel-shaded approach as well, which doesn't quite fit it, quite so. I don't know, there's something weird about having a cel-shaded top-down thing. But the idea is that you control your fella here by drawing lines to objectives and then drawing lines to the exits. But if you get seen, you get chased, and there's blue vision cones everywhere. So the trick with Third Eye Crime is, whereas with most stealth games the objective is not to get seen, in Third Eye Crime you will always be seen at some point. But seen here, getting chased. But you have the help of your sort of, I don't know, precognizance. So you can see that guard's sort of blue vision cone now also has a red line. Where the red is brightest, that's where the guard will head to next. It's where he thinks, or he knows, or he thinks most strongly that's where you are. And where it's fainter is where you want to be, because that's where he'll head to second. So this isn't a case of, as with many stealth games, they'll head to your last known position and then go, oh, he's not here. Oh well, I'll just leave then. Here, he will always doggedly pursue me. Every time an enemy is on alert, they will always look for you. It's just they'll look in different orders, depending on where they think you are or where they've seen you last. So that's a really clever little take on the stealth genre, and it really adds a lot of challenge to it. Almost makes it more of a puzzle game than a simple, than a simple avoid 'em up. But if I go to a later level here, it gradually gets more complex the more you go, and you'll have as well challenges, specific challenges that you can complete on each level in order to get additional medals, achievements, things like that. Let's do, I know, this one over here. There's quite a lot of levels, so it's difficult to pick one out and go, oh, this is probably good, or this isn't. This isn't particularly exciting, I don't think, probably because there's only one guard in here. But you can see in the top left corner I have challenges to beat a goal time, to only get seen once on the stage, or to never get shot, because these guards have guns as well. So it's kind of hit Hotline Miami-ish in a sense of going, well, I'm going, I know where I want to go, so let's plan these things out. Annoyingly, at the start, the camera defaults to zooming in, and I always have to zoom out. That's just a little niggle here. So if I go around this way, the most direct route, I'm going to get shot at, and that's just never going to work. That just won't do. So I'm going to have to lead him on a merry chase here. Right here first. No, hide in here. Okay, that was dumb. So there's a lot of trial by death kind of things. Whoa. And annoyingly, sometimes, as you just saw there, virtual buttons get in the way. See, in the top right corner is a fast forward sign. That's what, I kind of use just to... The default move speed's quite slow, so you can just hit this to make everything move faster. But when I tap that, because your character reacts to both line drawing and taps on the screen at the same time, then sometimes if you just miss a virtual button, it'll assume that you were tapping for a sort of direction change, and suddenly he'll sprint off in the opposite direction, and you don't want that to happen. So most of the time your objective is just to get to an exit, but sometimes you will have specific tasks to do. So I need to swipe that painting in order to open the door. I can also optionally collect these 2 gems for an extra bonus, but you can also see on the ground over here there's a power-up, and this is a distractor. So if I tap that symbol, it's going to draw everybody to that point, and that's what I want to use judiciously, but I don't want that guy to see me, so if I put it down there, that's going to make a noise in a certain period of time. There we go. But that was foolish because they all converge. So then you try again. So you see a lot of it's trial by death, and I did this level a while ago and I can't remember how to actually do it. So a lot of it's tricky stuff. It doesn't spot me. But well, you get the picture. The tricky thing is here, they will always doggedly, as I said, they will always pursue you. There's no way to stop that. So it's all about contingency plans. It's all about what happens in a stealth game after you get spotted, not when you get spotted. And that in itself is cool and awesome. And the sort of pre-cognizance thing of being able to see where the guards are going to head to next is awesome as well. The problem I have with this is when the game kind of feels like it doesn't, the ideas it has don't bear enough weight, and that instead it wants to, it kind of in a panicking sense builds more ideas on top of this structure that doesn't support it. So, for instance, hopefully this is the right one. Yeah. A little while in, this isn't that much of a story spoiler or anything, but you will sort of free this guy who's a forger from prison, and he moves slower than your main guy. And you'll have a run of puzzles where you have to get both guys to the exit at once. And that's kind of fine and clever. It's all about, I'm going to send the guard this way, and then the guard this way, and then the guard this way, and then the guard this way. But he's really slow. He's really slow and really annoying, and oh, God. This is all fine, except when I have to control both guys, one very quickly after the other. And there becomes a thing of it not recognizing the paths you want to draw quick enough for both people, or when the characters are very close together. Let's say if I were to cook up a situation like this, and then it's like, I want him to move there, but I want him to move over here, and the game's just constantly getting confused as to which person I'm drawing a path for. There's also as well levels wherein let's see, again, there's if you do like this game, there's a great deal of content, which is awesome, but it does make it difficult to figure out which. Wonderful. There are some pickups like this, which is a clever thing. It creates a clone. But when it creates a clone, they only last for a short period of time, and he spawns pretty much right on top of you. So that just really often means when I want to direct the clone, I wind up directing myself by mistake, and I just managed to get out here ahead of that sniper. But it gets really muddled and really confused, which isn't, I mean, it isn't too egregious, but when you pile it on top of the fact that the initial, just the core idea of sneaking around, and when I get seen, I'm going to be seeing where this guy thinks I am. You know, this idea is so clever, that the other ideas that it has on top of the main mechanic, that sort of core conceit, they aren't strong. You know, they aren't strong, and it almost feels like there's 120 levels in this game, and if it were 40 levels, then it would be brilliant. But there's 120 levels in it, and it's slightly less good. That said, this has got a kind of different pricing structure to some. I haven't actually managed to make it to the last 3 chapters quite yet, because you need to complete, you can skip certain levels, but you need to complete there's a requisite number. So here in this chapter, I need to complete 3 more levels. I can only skip 2. The way the game is structured sort of price-wise is you will get the first 4 levels. You can buy the entire game for $5, but the first 4 chapters, which pretty much is just the basic idea in the core game, which is the core gameplay concept, which is really awesome, and I kind of recommend it. You get those 4 for $3, I think. And then you get chapters 5 and 6 and chapters 7 and 8 in 2 separate packs for $1 each. So perhaps I would say get this first bunch of levels and see how you like it. And if you really think you can sort of play through the more kind of muddled, tacked on levels, then get those as well. It kind of feels that at some point though this might go cheap or free, so the extra content packs are kind of ways to monetize that. Same as well, you'll get there's a power-up system in place. If I jump in here, I might be able to show you. In the bottom right hand corner of the screen here, you've got the lightning bolt, and I've actually used all of these powers. They're effectively win buttons. They're really overpowered. Well, there's a distraction thing, but there's also this shield that blows people back, and the freeze power up is basically a win button because it makes all the enemies obviously stop moving for a certain period of time, which makes it really easy. So yeah, those now, if you want to get more, they cost different amounts of money. So that's another kind of way where if they were to make this free to play at some point, they could snatch money without it being too cheap. Yeah, and just the core stealth is quite clever. You know, I like levels like this. Oh, cool. Where it adds on the idea of when you get spotted, the doors lock. So it locks off sections of the level until they figure out where you are. And I want him to go past it. Go away. Ah, no. Ah, crap. Screwed now. But yeah, it's kind of a mixed bag of hums and hoes and yeses and nos, I think. And a really good core idea. Some other things taped on that perhaps aren't quite so good, but yeah, there is a lovable game underneath all this. It's Third Eye Crime. It's out by the time you watch this on iOS, and yeah, Chris Charlton for KGPop.com. Thanks for watching. Bye.